Welcome to the Gun Drummer Podcast. I just made some wild videos with my dude Twista, who I have here in the studio. Thanks for being here, man.
Man, thanks for having me, man. For sure.
Of course, we just did two of your songs, actually. Well, one of your songs, one of another one you were featured in with guns and drums and you on vocals, and it's so sick.
It was crazy. It was sick. Something new. Hey, I can't wait for everybody to see it. Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, I'll hopefully have the link in the description by this time that this podcast comes out. So hopefully I'll have it for you there. Check it out. It's completely ignorant.
Off the chain.
No reason for it to exist at all, but it's
really
there.
Not.
You can check it out.
It's there.
Since I got you here, man, I just want to dive in and learn a little bit about you, man. So just from the top, what got you into rapping in the first place?
Well, music, man, I got into rapping at a young age, listening to artists like Run DMC, LL Cool J, listening to these artists, and I was very interested in it and started to dabble a little bit. People started to take a little interest, so I did it more and more. And I was blessed to get on early in my life, like 17, 18 is when I started moving around and getting interest from record labels, and I think like 18 is when I signed my first record deal.
That's crazy. 18 had a record deal.
18 years old, had a record deal. It was new. I wasn't ready for it yet, but I was talented enough to make it happen, so there I was.
Would you say it hit you a little bit
I feel like I got a booger in my nose.
Nope, I think you're good.
Okay.
I can't.
Okay.
There's some bright lights. I think I could see it. You're good.
Okay. All right, now what was that?
I was just wondering if you're 18 years old, which I know when I was 18, I was just an idiot. Really, like I didn't know anything. So when you started getting that fame and getting that recognition, did it kind of send you crazy a little bit, or you took it in stride? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was crazy because when you're that young and I was always a cool guy, so I'm thinking to myself, I'm never gonna become one of those celebrities where people don't like me. I'm gonna always be liked. But that's when I thought I was in full control of it. Right. I didn't realize that fame, status, and things like that could cause people to act a certain way. So I think one of the most shocking things was people treating you or looking at you different. But I grew into it, and I'm cool with it now.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Didn't have like any of those spiral out of control, rock bottom, anything like that.
No, that's the one good thing with me, man. Like, and people notice too over the years. Like, they'll notice when I go into a radio station or somewhere to do an interview, they will always give me props for not being a knucklehead. Not going out there just messing things up so bad for myself. Because you got to be a good person first before you can be a good artist or entertainer or whatever. You got to first be a stand-up cool person. So,
absolutely.
Yep.
So were you just, obviously people know you for rapping super fast.
Yeah.
Actually, believe it or not, man, I had a Guinness Book of World Records book at my house when I was younger. And I remember seeing you in it. Yeah. So was that just from the very start? Was that the style that you had from the beginning, or did you just start getting hyper with it?
No, I just started getting hyper with it. And I wouldn't even say faster and faster. What happened was I was more of a battle rapper. So I would write raps to go against other rappers and crews, and one day I just got tired of like just general rap punchlines. I was like, man, I'm ready to make some songs, some rhythms and cadences. I want to be on a radio. Like, I wanted to take it up a notch. So that's when I started picking at the flow a little bit. Listen to the lyrics that I kick, just coming up with different styles, and then it started to grow from there. Yeah.
Nice. Now you had an album before Adrenaline Rush, didn't you? Because that was in 1997.
Mm-hmm. So Adrenaline Rush came out like 96, 97. And then before that, I had an album called Running Off at the Mouth. And that came out. That was when I first signed, like 18, when I was like 18 years old. And I dropped my first album, Running Off at the Mouth. And I remember going on a promo tour. So I'm looking left and right like, who are these people? It was later on I found out these guys were Naughty by Nature. These guys were the Spice One. Oh, that was Luther Vandross. So these were the people that was around when I first signed, and they weren't famous. Well, Luther, but like Naughty by Nature, Spice One, a lot of these artists had just came out. So I was like, wow.
I bet that was a trip, man.
Yeah, it was crazy.
What did that feel like all the way? Because it just kept going and going and going, man. I mean, I remember seeing you on MTV when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, dang, like this guy's killing it.
It was always fun, always fun. In the beginning, when you become a celebrity, a lot of times you will think it won't disappear. Like, I've made it. I'm a celebrity. That's it. I'm here. People gonna love me for life. I don't have to do anything else. That's not true. I found out that to stay I wouldn't even say to stay a celebrity. I would say to stay successful in the entertainment world, you have to keep going. You got to keep going. And it's sort of like what you do. You already know, like to do what you do, you have to stay consistent. So that's the biggest thing I learned as an artist was that you can't just drop your project and it's like, I'm here forever. You got to keep doing things to keep the attention on you and to keep yourself motivated and keep people engaged with you. So
I'm glad you just said everything you said because I had just learned all of that the hard way, even though I'm just like a micro internet niche celebrity, in my little corner. Mm-hmm. But I realized all that. It's like just because you're getting all this attention and all this love right now, that all of that could be gone tomorrow instantly. And I've experienced it, and it's weird, Yeah. It's something you have to get used to, and I actually distance myself a little bit. I have Gun Drummer, this character, and it's like sometimes I'm on fire, and sometimes I got nothing. I'm just flatline.
Yeah.
So you're right that you just have to just keep going. Like sometimes you're like, there's nobody here. There's nobody watching this at all. But like, oh, well, I'm just going to keep cranking stuff out. And then you go through these waves and have a little bit more, and you're like, everybody loves me again. And it's like,
And that's the thing. You got to do it because you love it. Because if you don't do it because you love it, then one of those time periods, especially if it's just for money or something, you'll get knocked out of the game. Like your mind can't handle that level of I want to say depression, but I don't want to say depression. But your mind can't handle that coming down like that. If you were so up, then to see yourself down can be traumatizing to some people. So you got to do this because you love it. Like whatever job you do, that's one thing that I feel a person can be blessed with. If you are doing what you love for an income, oh my God, you are so blessed and living a way better life than most people out here.
Absolutely.
So, if this is what you love, if you're doing what you love and you are able to make an income off of it, I would say go at it as hard as you can.
I 100% agree with you, too, that making it all about the money is a trap. I went that route already, and I got excited about it, and I was going that way, but it took the fun straight out of it. It did. I had to go full circle, man. Yeah. I went full circle, and now I'm back. I'm like, this is fun. I like this, Like, that's why I'm doing it. I'm into it. I'm passionate about it. It's like, this video could get me way more views and way more whatever, but, like, I don't really have any heart for it. Yeah. So I just picked the lesser one, and I'm happier this way, and I think it has more longevity rather than taking like the shortcuts and the short, Yeah.
Now, a little bit I think about the success of it.
Of course.
Like, now, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, okay, so now Nate had me out there. So now when Drake or this group or that group calls him, he'll call his buddy back and be like, Twista's where it started. He'll bring me back. No, I'm joking, though. But that's what I see for you, though. I see this just being the beginning. Like, one day, Twista actually had the balls to call him and say, hey, can I come out there and jump on stage?
Right.
Then so next, somebody else will see it, and they'll come out here. And that's what I see for your future is you doing this on a continuous basis with different celebrities, artists, some of your favorite groups. So that's what I see.
I hope. I really appreciate that, man. I really hope so. That would be sick. And I couldn't believe you wanted to come out. I was like, no way. I used to watch this dude on MTV before high school. He wants to come over and shoot at the range in Ashland, man.
Yeah, and Tony will even tell you, like, I was hoping that you would actually be open for me to come out here. So I was like, man, I hope he hits me back and say I can come out.
I've been so down the whole time. I practiced for hours for those videos we shot today, and it was like clockwork. Everything I pictured in my mind, even where you were at, like that table, the camera angles, where the drum set was, where I was at, everything I imagined was exactly like what turned out today.
It came out so dope.
That's perfect when that happens.
Yeah, it came out so dope. And I had a visual myself, but like I said, you brought it home with the details. Me, I just wanted to come out. I was like, he needs a vocalist out there. I need to come out there and spit some rhymes to some of these beats and these gunshots. So it turned out way more dope than I thought, man. And I appreciate it. I do appreciate it.
Man, and what's funny is my channel is all metal. It's literally just heavy metal. And I've hit up so many vocalists. I mean, everybody. Couldn't get anybody out. And then the first time I have somebody out there with me doing vocals, I got Twista on the mic.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I thought about that too. I was like, I wonder how his normal fan base is going to take to seeing me out there. It's going to be weird to him, which is good. So, you know, I'm interested to see how everybody's going to react. They're going to be like, what the hell are these two guys doing together? You know, so it's going to be fun.
I think, they're going to love it. But first, I think people are going to be super confused, especially the way I set up the filming where it looks like it's just me at first. And we're just doing the intro to Overnight Celebrity and it's all chill. It's just me. And then as soon as everything drops, the camera pans over and you're actually out there with me.
This is so out of place. What's going on right here?
You're like, what?
Like, why?
Those are my favorite videos are ones that make people like, it just activates a part in their brain of just confusion for a second.
Yeah,
that's when you know you have gold. That's when you know you have a good video.
Yeah, I love that right there. Especially if you do a video and you have everybody in. But you did it early. Like everybody's engaged and they're thinking they're about to see one thing and then next thing you know, what is Twista doing right there? So yeah, I love those type of videos. Yeah. This was dope, man. I want to do it again too. Like hopefully this is just the start. It catches on. Well, whether it catches on or not, I think you are passionate about it enough, even myself, where once I leave, I'll be home, you'll be sitting there and boom, the light bulb will go off and we'll be like, why didn't we do this song? Or why didn't we do, you know, it'll actually be dope to make a song one day too, like from scratch.
I was going to tell you, I forgot to tell you that offline, but now we're online. I'll just tell you, if you ever want a gun solo for a song or like a gun track or something, I'll record you something. If you got like a new song you're putting out, and you got your beat and you just want some tasteful gunshots in there somewhere, I got you. I'll record you something
I'll
sick.
think of something so we can creatively come up with something together like that. I think that'll be hot.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm down anytime. That was fun. I can't tell you the level of adrenaline I had and also just enjoyment while shooting as fast as I could and hitting the beat, and I just see you out of my peripheral the whole time getting down. Absolutely.
And I'm feeling the same way. So, and I'm up there getting down like, I can't believe it. I'm actually out here. He's right there playing to my song. I'm rapping to it. We're doing it right now. So I was just as excited, man. This is dope.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Crazy. So crazy. So crazy.
So how long you been shooting? Because I see you got some sick guns you brought out today. Obviously, you've been doing some competition with guns like that. Yeah,
I actually grew fast. I've only been shooting for a few years. I've always been interested in firearms, always trying to study them or get into them in some type of way. But, you know, I was also part of that whole vibe where, you know, my community thought they were bad. Guns are just bad. Just stay away from them. But as I got a little closer, and then we had this COVID thing happen. Then with me, like everybody else, started to get into my other passions, explore other things. And this was when I really locked in and got focused, started to study to become a firearms instructor. And that was it. Once I became a firearms instructor, the fuse was lit and I didn't stop. I would come to my guy, shop all the time. It was this one store near my house, and I would go there, and that's where I met Tony at. And it's Tony's fault that I bought a bunch of guns that I probably didn't need. But, well, I'm going to blame it on him. But it just never stopped from that point. I just kept growing. It was like, you know, as I would learn something, I noticed I would keep going. So it started, I like this Glock, or I like this. Next thing you know, I'm getting all of these fancy race guns and guns that people have to wait 8 and 9 months for and stuff like that. So my desire and vibe and just my whole two-way wave just kept growing, and it's still growing. So I really don't even know what direction it's gonna take next. You know, I do some USPSA shooting, then I like IDPA. I want to do a little bit of that. I want to do some tactical stuff. So I don't know where it's gonna go, but I'm really enjoying the ride and how many people I'm meeting, and I think it's dope to have a career already at first that put me in a position so that when I got into the 2A community, it was like a permanent VIP pass backstage. When I see people and somebody will see me and fan out over me. It's like JJ Ricazzo see me and be like, that's Twista. I'm like, that's JJ Ricazzo. Right. So that thing right there is a beauty within itself that I can, even this, like to you like, okay, that's Twista, but in my mind, like, damn, that's Nate. That fucking gun drum. You know what I mean? So it's a mutual feeling, man, and it keeps me excited and just loving this whole 2A vibe and wave. I love it.
Nice. Shout out to JJ. That dude, he's a beast.
Yeah. Shout out to JJ Ricazzo, Eric Graffel, so many more.
We got to do something with him, man. I was supposed to go down to Florida like years ago to do something with him.
With Eric?
With JJ.
JJ? Yeah.
Just never made it happen, but I got to go. I want to get lessons from him on shooting fast, and then, I want to give him some lessons on dual wielding to the beat so we can help each other.
Yeah, that'll be dope. So. And then you can also get a jump start with Tony, because Tony can, as you see, shoot very fast, but he's also an instructor and taught me how to shoot the way I shoot, and he's actually trained masters and grandmasters and things like that. So Tony can also help you.
Nice. So do you guys do? Do coaching then, like actual?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do people get into that if they want to have you, teach them something?
Well, you can hit up any of us. You can hit up Tony. Then we also got Gun Camp. And that's the one thing that, once I was a part of the creation of this thing called Gun Camp, and we got my boy Eddie Tactical, so many people that's involved with Gun Camp. Not a whole lot, but a tight group of guys. And, man, we just been killing it, man. Just Gun Camp, going everywhere. We got Gun Camp Range in Chicago. We've been going to the last 2 SHOT Show events and just trying to grow the name and the vibe. And that's what we have in Gun Camp is instructors, coaches, trainers, competitive shooters, just so many people. So if you want to get trained by me, you can just go to my IG and hit me up, Twista_gun coach, or go to the Gun Camp IG and just hit us up. You'll see me, you'll see other members that you may want to get training with or just shoot with, just to come out and have the experience and come shoot some of my dope guns that I got.
You do have some sick handguns, man.
Yeah, man, I love it.
Nice. All right, the Gun Camp.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really important to get people trained for sure.
Yeah.
Especially even just to avoid accidents, all kinds of stuff. I think it's like you said, people shy away and they just tell your kids like, oh, don't touch it. Well, guess what? A couple boys are gonna do when dad's not home, and they're gonna grab it immediately. So I mean, as we all did when we were kids.
I touched it.
Right. So I think it's great just to teach.
I would hope that enough things are happening in front of people these days to realize how important training is. Like when you see all of this stuff going on, it's like, it's almost common sense at this stage to know that nobody is going to come save you.
Oh, and a self-defense aspect, yeah.
I mean, just the self-defense aspect. So many things. Like, I just think it's important to get training. Why not do something that can help save your life or save another person's life?
I think it's a no-brainer, man. Any way I can logically think through it, I come to the same conclusion that I think if you're not allowed to defend your own life or your family's life, I think it's messed up. Honestly, I think it's evil. And one time I lived in a major city, Columbus, Ohio, and I had an emergency situation going on. Somebody got beat up bad. There was firearms involved. It was a hot situation, and it took the police 2 hours to get there.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? I mean.
And then when they come, their firearm is to protect themselves, not you.
Right.
So.
And I mean, I was armed, but I wasn't going to take. I was trying to protect one person, but I didn't want to take it to the next level and like get myself involved, But still, it's like that goes to show you, if you're somebody that is unarmed or can't be armed, and you have an actual situation where somebody might be about to die, you could get a 10-minute, a 30-minute, an hour, a 2-hour response time from the cops,
which is scary.
You just die. So I think it's a no-brainer to be armed, to be trained. And, I mean, evil people are out there; they're gonna be armed. So good people have to be armed too, is the way I see it.
I really hate that whole thing of when criminals do things with firearms, the only people it affect mostly is besides the victims in terms of business or protecting yourself, are law-abiding citizens, who represent 2A the right way. So that's the one thing I hate. It's like, damn, every time the knucklehead do something, it affects us over here. You know, so
it's pretty crazy, man. It's pretty crazy. It's very just a blatant attack every time. I'm just trying to pass more laws and follow it through. I'm like, you think this dude running around freaking full bang switch on the Glock, just holding it down, shooting out the window, is really going to care if this law gets passed? Like, do you really think, you know?
No. Man.
I don't think he's going to care.
Yeah, that's why you have to let off steam sometime the way you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, though, man.
Every time I'm about to go to the liquor store and hold it up, I just go to the range and I shoot to metal, you know? Mm-hmm. Sometimes I don't make it and I do hold up the store, but
no, man. No. I need one of those shirts too, man.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch.
So, oh yeah,
yeah. I'll get you some on the way out.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I'll rock it. You know,
to the range. I would love that on stage, dude. I'll get you a bunch.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll rock it on stage and I'll rock it at the range when I do some content.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I can't wait to shoot more. I'm already just pumped.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can't wait till we do something else, like to see what this grows into, and then, like I said, when we're both just sitting at home and have that aha moment, like, why don't we try this song or that song? You know.
Maybe you could convince someone at SHOT Show that we need to do a live show.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
Yeah. We may be a little too close to this one.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm sure they already have that wrapped up.
Yeah, maybe. But last SHOT Show, I think I grabbed the mic. I went to one of the parties, and it was a band up there. I was feeling good. Got the microphone, and we pretty much had a spontaneous mini concert.
Yes. Yeah. Man, I wish I would have ran into you. I was there the whole time this year.
Yeah.
2023.
USCCA's party. Yeah, that's where it happened at.
Nice.
So
you are going next year?
Yeah, we're going next year for sure.
Vegas is, listen, that was my first time going to Vegas. I've always seen the gangster movies where they make it look all spotless and like nice and classy. No.
No.
Vegas was grimy.
Vegas is grimy. Vegas is a real city. You know, besides the lights, you will see some stuff. So.
It was nasty. And listen, I messed up so bad, dude. I'd never been there before, and I'm like, oh, the Flamingo, that seems like a nice place to stay at. So, dude, you should have seen my room. I'm telling you, there was footprints across the ceiling. There was blood on the floor. There was like sand everywhere. There was like hand marks all up on the walls. It was crazy. I mean, it was crazy. I looked up. I tried to get the filter out for the air, and it had stalactites hanging off of it of just like.
See, I would have been scared.
Hookers, it was crazy.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
It was horrible.
No, that's horrible.
SHOT Show was great, but Vegas, I had a very kind of a disillusionment about it. I'm like, damn, this place is dirty.
Yeah, you got to be careful about which hotel you go to. SHOT Show is usually at the Venetian, so that's
Venetian
always
was nice.
Yeah. Something connected to SHOT Show instead of one of those off-brand hotels. You might see all of that stuff that you were just talking about.
Yeah, that was messed up. There's a lot of blood just all over. I guess it's like one of the first hotels they ever built. So go figure.
You should have got your money back.
You're right. I should have. I guess I was just being weak. My friend said the same thing. He's like, let's go tear them up, man. We got to go get a refund. This place is nasty.
That's like, the buddy that you send in, though. You send that buddy in to go get your money back. I was
afraid to send him up because he was so fired up. He was like pissed. It was day 4, and he was just, I was afraid that, I don't know, we were going to get arrested or something.
You're right. So you had to eat that one.
It's all right. But how many, have you been to SHOT Show before, or this was your first time?
2 so far.
Nice.
2? 1? Yeah, 2 so far.
What do you think of it? It's huge.
Oh, man. That's partially why one of my knees is messed up. Like, I haven't recovered from the last SHOT Show. We walked everywhere to every booth. We did so much. You saw how I controlled myself. I was about to go boom, boom. So we walked everywhere.
We get extra noise on the mic. So
right. We get extra noise.
Like, you'll hear all of that.
Yeah, but it was fun, man. Like, I wore myself out every night and was happy about it. You know, so.
Do you think you saw every booth?
No.
I don't even think I saw half.
No.
I'll be completely honest with you. I didn't get
it's
through
too big. It's too much going on, and then, especially if you know people or you're seeing people and you're stopping, you're conversing, it's just so much going on. It was like, but if you are a gun nut, it was heaven for you. So that's what happened to me. I was like, I had a ball.
I couldn't believe how huge that place was. I mean,
yeah.
Damn.
I can't wait for the next one.
I really don't even think I saw half in 3 days.
Yeah, I definitely
bizarre how huge that freaking convention is.
Yeah, you got to make a plan. I think if you go to one and experience it, I think the second time you kind of have a game plan on how you're gonna move.
Yeah, well, I'm not staying in the freaking Dead Hooker Hotel this time. I'll tell you that. It was nasty. I couldn't even sleep. I'm pretty sure the bed was at an angle, like an angle, like my head was down, my legs were up. It just smelled in there.
You're happy nobody didn't just come fall out of the ceiling.
I was seeing ghosts. It was horrible.
You messed it up for me going to that hotel.
I don't know if I'll go next year, man. I don't know. It's just a lot. I was exhausted. Mm-hmm. I mean, I came back, I took my luggage, and I threw it in the backyard in the snow for a week just in case. Like, had to just get rid of anything that might have got in there. Mm-hmm. So anything I might have, I don't know, brought with me, bugs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ghosts.
I think it's hard to last the whole SHOT Show. Like, people that stay for the whole thing are some troopers because, after the first 2 or 3 days, like, you really got to be in it or working or, got some goals that you're trying to achieve because the whole stay, for me it was grueling. But it was so much fun, though. You want to be a part of so much. And then those last days, everybody's leaving and stuff. And so now you got these companies that's willing to talk to you. And it's just, I'll tell you about it.
Did you have any, like, sponsors that you saw on the map that you were making sure to hit? Or you just
Yeah, we did that. We had spots we were trying to hit, which stopped us from hitting spots that we wanted to hit because we were so busy, which is all the fun of it, man. Like, yeah, I think it's dope that you can't actually do everything that you want to do. That, that is that many things to do and so much activity-wise at SHOT Show that I love it. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I haven't decided to go yet, but we'll see. I don't know. I feel like I'm just scarred from last time.
Oh no, well,
I was ready to go.
If you come this time, you link up with us, and we're gonna have a ball the whole
trip. I might have to go then, as long as we get a hold of a drum set, and we get a microphone,
man,
and we get a bunch of guns.
We will go take over anybody's party when we get there. We will go take over anybody's range.
Yes.
Range day is always dope. I think that's the beginning of it right there, range day, to come out and shoot all of the new firearms that they got coming out. So, man, that would be dope to do a concert on range day.
I want to do a live show. We've been talking about it all day, and it's 1,000% possible, man. All we need, and everyone thinks like, you're going to shoot me. Like, no, this is how it would be set up. You have the tables for you and I to use. Mm-hmm. Probably you elevated on something. Me shooting downrange towards the backstop, and then we have just a huge freaking PA system aimed straight backward at the audience.
I like.
We can even have bleachers or something. Mm-hmm. Have some bleachers hauled in so everybody could be comfortable up there, and we could even do it at dusk and get tracers and stuff. We could do a whole half
it's
hour
doable.
set.
It's
Absolutely,
doable. Definitely, it's doable.
100% doable.
Oh yeah. So we got some brainstorming and work to do so we can make this happen. This got to happen one day.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of music, man, how many albums do you have? Because I was going through your discography getting ready for this meeting, and I was like, bro, what are you doing?
I don't know. I cannot answer that question
it's crazy,
anymore.
Man.
I used to be able to.
Massive.
Yeah, I use some. You know how some people know their stats, their career. Like you'll ask a football player how many games, and they can literally go to every. I'm not one of those people. I've did so much that at this stage, a lot of these questions I cannot answer. If you say, how many albums have you done? That's not a question I can just answer out of the blue like that. It's like, I've done so many albums that one day I stopped counting. So
that's what's up.
And it's not that many, like, in terms of, like, so much quantity-wise that I can't remember the number. It's just, as an entertainer, once you get to, like, 9, 10 albums, then you start to get a little blurry.
What's your a crazier question, and then I'll go back to this. A crazier question would be, how many people have you collaborated on songs with?
That's a harder question than how many albums. Like, it's up there. It's up there. It's like, especially if you start naming artists that's in my genre of music or just from my era. It's like I worked with everybody.
I've noticed that because not everyone does that, but most of your songs, you've got somebody in it.
Yeah, it's like crazy. So and that's a good thing too, because a lot of those people I haven't got those favors returned. So when I start my new project, there's a few people I can call like, hey, this person didn't give me a verse yet. Oh, this person didn't give me a verse yet. So this is going to be fun and interesting to see who will hold up their obligation on returning my verse. So
Twista's come to collect. I need to be in your new album.
It's going down.
I want to be on the single too. I want the first verse on that single.
Now, and I'm going to come to you now. So when I start on a new project and I get my idea together, I'm going to hit you up. Nate, I got the album idea. So be ready.
I'll get you a gun solo anytime.
Okay, be ready. Of course, my new project will be gun related. You know, I don't know if it's going to be completely gun related, but it's heavily influenced by the 2A community. If it wasn't, I probably couldn't keep going because I'm so interested and passionate about what I do in terms of firearms that I had to blend both worlds or I would have stopped doing music for a while. So I literally had to. So
sounds like you're right where I'm at, man. You caught the bug. You caught the
I caught the bug. And
it's fun. I mean, some people don't understand it. They think it's like we have this obsession with killing and like a fetish with firearms and stuff. It's not like that. It's super addicting because of the skill that's involved. First of all, when you're shooting, there's so many things going on. It's not like in a movie where you just aim in a direction and it hits it magically. Like, no, you have to have all of your body together, working together, and like it takes a lot of skill. A, B, it's like Pokemon where there's just unlimited things to collect. You're like, oh, I gotta get the next thing. I gotta get the next thing, and it's customizable, like cars, you know. So you can customize each one. So it's kind of a whole just world of stuff you can get into.
Yeah, it can be an addiction. It can be a passion. It can be your business. It can be all of the above.
And it's important as far as life or death situations because, I mean, just when it comes down to it, like when it really comes down to it at the end of the day with human nature and things are about to get violent, guess what? You're going to want to be good at this. I mean, and put it that way, but that's just reality. That's the way.
Yeah, and sometimes I forget. Like I'm so passionate about it on and you know, in this way of doing things or going to the range or competitive shooting or doing other things or instructing. And then sometimes like you'll forget, oh, I can take care of myself if something happens in this room right now. Oh, you know, and that lets you know like how deep your passion can go. And then that's for anybody that's not a gun person too, is yes, you can be so involved into firearms in so many different aspects that you'll literally forget sometimes that you can defend yourself to that level, which should let a non-gun person know that it's not always about violence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely not. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the point of it, but yeah, I'm the same way as you. I'll forget sometimes that that's a straight up weapon because I'm treating it as a drum set, or having fun with it. Be like, you know.
Like, wait a minute, if two people running here right now, you know. So, hey, it's a good skill set to have.
I think for our next video, we should both wear body armor and like shoot each other. We'll have to sign a waiver, you know, just in case like one of us die. I don't think it'll happen.
Okay, tell me what day you want me to be here. I'll make sure I'm on time.
It's just 9 mil, man. It won't go through, I promise.
Okay, thanks for letting me know that. I'll be here for sure.
I wonder if that would be legal, like if we sign a waiver and we're shooting at each other with body armor and one of us accidentally dies, like do you still go manslaughter? Is that still manslaughter? I don't know. I'm not really going to do it.
Podcast was going so well.
So anyway, we'll do that next time you come out.
Yeah,
I'll get it all set up. Just,
okay. Yeah.
You know, make sure your aim's solid.
Yeah. I'll practice a little bit before I come. Center mass. I'll make sure that you have your body armor nice so that when I'm aiming center mass, you'll be nice.
Get your red dots off and just get me right in the leg.
Ooh, don't have that dot off.
Speaking of body armor, have you got a helmet, night vision, anything like that yet? You made it that far?
As far as dabbling, yes. Doing a little, yes. But owning, no.
Same. I'm embarrassed, but it's all right. Yeah. We're in the same spot.
I'm embarrassed a little bit too.
Me too.
And I know that that's the next level of it, so I got to get into it. I love it, though.
Super expensive, too, for the good stuff. Like, that's what throws me off about the night vision especially. I'm like...
Yeah, I'll start with something I can see at night out of one eye first. Then I'll move up to 2 eyes.
Right.
But no, I definitely want to get into it. A few of my buddies are into it. And, yeah, that's something I want to do. Because I want to shoot at night.
Yeah, you're right. I kind of want to shoot at night, too.
Yeah. It looks beautiful.
That's something we could
traces.
do. You know what I do when we shoot at night out here at the range? I take a giant light out that's for filming. It's got this huge like diffuser on it, and I run an extension cord out. We just light up the whole thing and shoot. Which is nice. But actually having night vision and shooting, I think, would be cooler.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll start getting into that. I just feel embarrassed at this point because all the cool guys, all the cool gun YouTubers, they got all of that stuff, like all of it ready to go.
Well, don't be embarrassed. Look at me. I haven't got in yet.
Well. I guess I'm shooting in broad daylight from my armpits anyway. So
I mean, what you do is, to me, more interesting than night vision.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
Oh yeah.
I was excited you were even into this and down to come out, man. That's
so
so cool.
Yeah, I mean, then you got to think, naturally, me being in the entertainment industry, as far as music, as soon as I look up and wait a minute, he's making music with his gun. So I was captivated by the first sight of it. I was like, what? Like, this is a thing? You know what I mean? So thank you for showing me that this is actually a thing.
Of course. I'm just got lucky to do it first. And I can tell, speaking of being an entertainer, that you've been doing this for a long time because we got out there, everything's normal. We're just like shooting, we're hanging out. And then I'm like, are you ready? You're like, yeah, all right. You got your jacket on, got your shades, and you're just instant. Like, stance, ready to go, man. We put the song on, you just snapped into character and just killed it.
Yeah, I love it, man. I've been doing it so long and love it. It's like, as soon as I hear action, turn it on right there.
Well, let me ask you this. I was actually wondering this. Do you still get, because I did one stage performance in my life this year. It was actually with a metal band, Hunt the Dinosaur. I was featured as a vocalist on their track, and they had me go perform it with them in front of a crowd in Columbus.
Wow.
And it was this, I can't even tell you how scared I was, man. I was side stage doing push-ups and stuff, just tripping. I couldn't sleep the night before. I was so nervous. I was just wondering if you, after how many performances you've done in your life, if you still get, do you still get nervous before?
Of course.
Really?
It depends on what level of like, say it's just a nightclub or something that I'm used to, maybe not so much, but if like an arena or the artist I may be performing with may make me nervous, or if I'm in front of a crowd that I've never been in front of, the biggest thing that'll make me nervous if I'm not prepared enough, meaning the song, I may not know all of the lyrics or something like that. Oh, it's a nightmare then. Oh, man. I think one of my most nervous moments was not knowing all of the lyrics to a song I had with Lady Gaga. And we performed a song overseas somewhere. And I was literally backstage studying this verse over and over and over, all the way up until we got on stage. So when it was over, I was so happy. I was shaking everybody's hands, hanging out, but I was a nervous wreck the whole time before. So that and then it was with T.I. and Too Short. Me, Lady Gaga, T.I., Too Short. It's like, oh my God. So I got through it though.
That's great, man. I feel the same way about if you're not quite prepared and it's the last second, you're just like, I know I'm going to bomb. I know I'm going to fail. I know it. Like, I know I'm going to go out there and I'm going to forget it. And the funny part is nobody would probably even know. That's the funny part about it. Like the audience, the crowd, but in your head, you're thinking this is going to be the end of the world.
And if you ever see a situation where somebody does know, because I used to feel like that too, nobody's going to know, but then they do know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you'll have that diamond in the rough, or that one person that, I saw what you did, or I saw that blooper or mess up. So it will happen. But I think, to me, like, preparation gets rid of the nervousness. So for myself, I think I heard, it was Peyton Manning I heard say that. Like, he's nervous a lot, so he prepares to get rid of his nervousness. So that's what I do to kind of combat it. Because if I don't practice or, like, prepare on some level about something I'm nervous about, oh my God.
You just sit in it and just be nervous.
It's just going to be like.
I feel the same way, rehearsing. Just rehearsing makes me feel better. Yeah. Making sure everything's going to work. Like for that video we did today, I just played it again and again and again and again and listened to it in the car, slept, Did it again the next day, and then eventually I'm like, all right, yeah.
That's dope.
Because with the adrenaline going, you're going to forget some of it. So I try to get it so ingrained to where it's almost just automatic in your subconscious, And then you can go out there and just, boom, you're just going to do it.
Yeah, it came out dope, though, man. Every second of it was dope. I can't wait to do it again.
I can see you out of my peripherals, man. And in Overnight Celebrity, when you actually when it was in the I don't know what you call that in a rap song, but like the third quarter, the breakdown part, whatever.
The hook.
When that starts going, and it's all a very passionate part of the song.
Oh yeah, the bridge.
And I saw you coming towards me, like got off the table, and you're just coming up close. I mean,
I'm like,
I was dying,
feeling the vibe.
So awesome.
You were shooting around, and the vibe was so heavenly. It was like,
it's exactly how I pictured it when I was driving around in my car yesterday. Like,
that is dope.
And I was laughing hysterically in my car, just imagining that this is about to happen, and it's going to be the goofiest thing ever, and I love it. So
I love it.
This video is going to be insane.
I think so too. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Speaking of performing, do you have any go-to like wildest tour stories or anything? Any like experience that just sticks out to you that was crazy?
It's a bunch of stuff that happened like over my years, but anything that I can think of off top, wild. I mean, it probably wasn't a good thing that at one point when I would perform Adrenaline Rush, at one point somebody would fight every time I performed that song.
Really?
Because they were so turned up. Soon as that beat would come on, boom, 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 all of a sudden it's a violent mosh pit. Yeah, so at one point it got a little crazy.
Dang.
With it was literally, I almost stopped performing it, like because it started to come off as a fight starting song. So I was like, let me pull back on this song for a little while because it's getting turned up a little bit.
Dang.
Yeah. So
did you feel responsible? Like you're up there trying to have a good time and just share your music?
Yeah, it'll make
you got
you
people freaking killing each other.
After you see it like the third or fourth time, you're like, okay, this song is really turning people up. So let me scale it back. But then you stop doing it, and then you look up and you see people fighting for other reasons to other stuff, and you're like, oh, okay, it was probably going to happen anyway.
Wow. I like that album. I like Adrenaline Rush, and I like Death Before Dishonor, too.
Okay.
Those two songs.
That's my
Those
jam.
two specifically are sick, man.
I think that was the second song that I wrote. Like, Adrenaline Rush was mostly created in the order that it's in.
In the what?
In the order that it's in. Like,
oh, yeah. Okay. Because that was like track 1 and 2, I think, right?
Yeah. So I was like, that song, like, Adrenaline Rush was recorded mostly in the order. I think, I don't quote me on that, but the amount of songs that's on Adrenaline Rush were the amount of songs I recorded for the album. So it wasn't like I had like
didn't have a bunch
20
of
or 30
extras.
songs. Yep, that was exactly what I recorded. We stopped, boom, and everything I would record from that point on, like we would put it out. So that's one thing that I like about Adrenaline Rush is it's a solid body of work that we didn't pick through or piece together. It was what it was. Each track going along like we were hot. You know, we had a hot hand at that time. So everything we would do, we would just like, this is coming out. This song is going on the album. Oh, this song is going on the album. And once we got to that 11, 12, 13 songs, we, boom, put it
Dang. I bet that felt so good.
I would rather do it that way than record 20 or 30 songs for an album and then pick them. Like, I would rather record a solid 15 songs and then, you know, trust the process in my body of work and then go at it.
Is that what you still do? Or you do like the 30 songs and narrow it down?
Well, now it might be the 30 songs and narrow it down.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, that's what everybody does,
bit of both,
as far as I know.
Yeah, a little bit of both. And I think that happens now because technology has allowed us to work a little faster. So I think that's one of the reasons that I work on a quantity level and then try to pick the quality out of it, you know. But back in the days, worked a slower process. So I like to give you what you got right then. But yeah, man, I work all different ways. I think all artists should explore everything in front of them as far as creativity in terms of sometimes write your lyrics down. Sometimes don't write them down. Just kind of try to think of something like fresh out of the mind. Sometimes spend a length of time to finish a song. Sometimes see if you can knock it out as fast as possible. So I think artists and just creators should just try things that they're working on in their field on all different levels so that they don't get stagnated or stuck if they can't get in this studio, or I can't record if I can't work with this producer, or this is not going to happen unless I have this. You don't ever want to be like that. So got to keep that grind going no matter what.
Are you just writing all the time, or do you set times aside in your life where you're like, this 3 months I'm going to sit down and I'm really going to come up with some stuff?
It's natural.
Just
all day, 24/7.
Just about it.
Yeah, wherever I'm at, whatever I'm doing. You may not see me rap or do anything music related through that day, but for me, I've done some things. You just don't know it. That when we were over here, I was making rap lines and I stored them in my mind. We were over here, I thought of a new title for a song. When we were over here, I knew that when I go in the studio, how I'm going to change that hook to this. So I'm always constantly working on lyrics in my mind, naturally. I think like a poet would be. Like, you know how poets, they're constantly just creating.
Yeah.
So I'm just making lyrics, coming up with dope punchlines to diss Tony. Rap metaphors to come down hard on my boy Eddie, so that's what I do.
Just dogging on your friends.
Yeah, the dogging on the friends. Yeah, fuck them all.
Would you, we got Tony here in the studio. He's over here cracking up.
Fuck him too.
Dude, speaking of technology, then, do you do stuff more? What's the word? Like mobily now? Like, do you just record stuff at your house, or whenever you do collaborations with people, do you record it separately? Whereas
mostly
back then, I'm
separately
sure
now.
you'd meet up.
Mostly separately now, but it depends on the situation. If I'm on a tour or moving around, then me and that artist may be together. If I'm in a certain town for a specific period of time, or working in the studio for a few weeks or something, then you kind of get together with those artists. But if you're like doing your thing, moving normally through a year, most artists are where they are doing something and they kind of collaborate, in separate areas. But it's both though. I think it's a little mixture of both.
Do you think it's easier to think and create stuff alone, separately, or with people?
Depends on the situation. One day you're sitting there with your peers, you can't think of anything. You may need to vibe with them to get something out. One day you're sitting with your peers, it's not coming out because they are here. I need to be
feeling
alone
weird
and feel it. So it's whatever vibe may be occurring in that particular time frame. For myself, some people, they have to work alone or they have to work with people, but myself, it's how I'm feeling that day, or what does the song sound like? Are the lyrics coming to me easy? Do I have to? This all matters if I want to work alone or if I want to work in a group of people.
I always thought it was tough for bands that have 5 members and they're just in a room all together, and you want to feel the passion of the song that you're writing, but it's also very much work atmosphere. You're all there every day standing around with each other the whole time. I always thought it would be tough to just keep you all on the same page the whole time, but I'm sure, like you said, it just depends. I'm sure they like to go home and write on their own, and then they go in there and they have the energy of everybody going back and forth.
I look at it like a team, like a sports team. Like a band is like a basketball team, as long as everybody's clicking and on the same page and passionate about it, then it's not you're playing something, and then when Tony comes with his, you're like, oh, and then when Jimmy comes, you're like, oh, so that's the type of a band or a group vibe I like in terms of creating
the energy,
the crew. Yeah, that energy. That's how Gun Camp is. We are literally like a tight knit group or band who all complements each other. Like, we all complement each other, and we all are talented and just look up to each other and help each other. So.
That's cool. I think you do. I mean, that's a good point. I guess I'm the same as you. Some days I'm like, I don't want any criticism or feedback.
Yeah,
I want to be
get the
alone,
hell away from me.
And I want to just figure this out. But other times, it's hard to get that pumped up and get this kind of energy unless you have some other people to bounce it off of.
Yeah, you got to have like-minded people around sometime. Yeah.
That's what's up. I'm trying to think of any other questions I have for you. I don't know if I do. You got any questions for me?
Man, so how long have you been playing music on the range?
4.5 years.
4.5 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got lucky.
What made you start doing it?
Oh, I was going to tell you about this. So this is crazy. So that album, Adrenaline Rush, reminded me its style of Bone Thugs and Harmony, which I used to listen to when I was a teenager. And there's a song called Thug Love on there.
Yeah.
And there's a pistol rack and 2 shots. It's like Tupac's like, I've got thug love for my nationwide posse, feel me? And I remember specifically, I don't know how old I was, but I was young. I had a speaker at my dad's house, and I had the speaker playing on the front porch to that song, and I racked and shot to that song off the porch. So that's like probably earliest memory of actually doing this.
Okay, and that's the song that comes to mind too. Like with this, that's like when you text me and told me that that's one of the songs you were listening to. I was like, yeah, this will give you that vibe.
It just immediately will give you that idea. Yeah. they got the rack and the 2 shots in the song. I'm immediately like, yeah, I live in the country and have guns. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to try that. As soon as I get home, I'm going to try that.
That is dope, man.
So I guess I've been doing it for a long time.
4.5 years.
That was probably like 15 to 20 years ago.
Okay.
I just filmed my first one 4.5 years ago, and I posted it, and it got 1 million views in a single day. So I was like, all right, well, obviously I got something here. So that's when I started the YouTube channel, my Instagram page, my website, and everything else, and just been seeing how long I can go with it, man. I mean, I've gotten lucky so far. I've been very fortunate. I got to meet a lot of my favorite bands and go to a lot of different places, travel around, go to all the different gun events that you know I'm sure you're going to now. Once you get into that world, you realize like, oh, there's a thing like every month. Yeah. Somewhere in the U.S. you can go to.
You will get wore out in the gun world.
And I learned that. I actually took it easy this year because the past few years I was hitting so many. And I've got, you know, a wife and 2 small kids at home and all this stuff going on. So I'm like, dude, I can't be hitting a freaking...
That's what you will realize. Like, wait a minute. I got other stuff to do.
I can't hit an event every single month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it wears me out a little bit, to be honest. It's super fun. But, yeah, just talking to 100 people while you're there and then all the stuff that you're doing plus the travel plus everything else, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It can get hectic, but we are here and we love it. So, yeah. I'm enjoying the journey.
No, that's good. Sorry to cut you off, man.
No, go ahead.
I keep thinking of questions. I was wondering.
What were you about to say?
Do you ever get worn out from traveling around and doing performances all the time, like touring, or are you just so used to it?
No, all the time. All the time. Like I'm used to it, but at the same time, you do get tired. You know, sometimes you may not want to do a specific thing. Like I always tell everybody, you know the feeling that you get when you wake up in the morning and you don't want to go to work and you're like, I just don't feel like walking out that door. Imagine waking up in the morning and going, I just don't feel like flying out of the city to another state.
And then performing.
So it can be a thing. Like I said, imagine just not wanting to get up and go to work that day, but literally have to go travel and fly to a whole nother city and do something. And it may just be from being tired or worn out or something like that. And that when it starts to get like that, that's when you may need to take a break, pace yourself a little bit so that you could come back to it the right way. So, yeah, when it gets like that, like when you, like, I don't want to leave town today, you know, take a break, man, or whoever you are, and just catch a vibe and feel yourself a little bit, live life a little bit, and then get back to it. Yeah,
that sounds like great advice, man. I think balance is 100% key. It's like, yeah, could I hit it 10 times harder? Yeah, I could, but at what cost? You know, right. I want to be at peace and I want to enjoy my family. And my kids are growing so fast. I want to be there for them, and so I have to talk myself out of it because I get super. You know, what's the word where you're just like, I want it all. I want to just go for it.
Yeah, driven.
Like, you know,
you get super driven.
Yeah, and it's like, I just get worn out. I mean, I'm probably just weak, but whatever. You got to just admit it. You know?
Nah, we get worn out sometimes. We do get worn out.
Yeah, I think balance is key. So that sounds good. I mean, obviously, you've been doing this for a while, man. I mean,
yeah, man.
You still seem like you're in just a good spot.
Yeah, I still feel new. Like, even though I've been doing
cool.
I still feel like a newbie. So, and I don't really want to ever lose that excitement. I don't want it to get to the point where it's like, that doesn't matter anymore. You know, I want to constantly love it from a new perspective so that I always enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like if you get in the limousine 10 times, right, which person do you want to be? The person that enjoyed it the first 3 times and then the next 7 times, I'm used to it. Or the person even on the 7th, 8th, 9th time, you still love the wood grain. Well, let me get this little drink out of there. They got a little cooler in here. Oh, these seats go like, oh, you know what I mean? So I try to, I want to always keep that feeling. Oh, look at this gun. Oh, the slide. Like, I never want to get to that point of, you know, where nothing matters because you stop enjoying life at that.
Absolutely. And it's easy to get there, man. I mean, it's
Very
weird.
easy.
I've gotten there. Like, you know, I'm not.
Very easy to get there.
Whatever. So. I've been there. It's weird. I don't even. So, like I said, I've come back around now. I'm learning to enjoy.
Yeah,
you know,
you gotta enjoy
the things in life and enjoy the ride because we're not here for that long, really. I mean, we're just here and gone.
For a blip.
Yeah.
Think you're here forever, and next thing you know, blip.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. I appreciate you coming out here today. I can't wait to have you back. We made 2 sick videos.
We got to do it again. We got to do it again.
You're welcome anytime, man. From Chicago. Drove here from Chicago today, 5 hours to come out. So I appreciate that.
Hey, y'all, I know where he got his stuff hidden at, too.
Yeah.
I'm not telling.
So you can just, honestly, if you take my stuff, I would think it's funny. So
I'm not telling.
I'll just be bragging about it to everybody. I'll be like, you'll never guess who took all my stuff.
Hey.
It was Twista.
Hey, I might need to come drop my stuff off here one day. Like, hey. Something else almost came out. I caught myself.
Nice.
I'll tell you when we.
I'll
tell
man.
You off the record.
Well, thanks for everybody for watching, and we will see you later. Check out this crazy, ridiculous, ignorant video in the description.
It makes no sense.
Nope, but it exists, and it's on YouTube. Peace.
Peace.
Nice, dude.
Yeah. So I was about to say, hey, I may need to drop all my guns off over here so the ATF won't come in.